It didn't hide in the shadows, it stood in their doorway and watched. In winter 1981, a quiet Pennsylvania duplex where a family saw it clearly, not once but night after night. The first night they blamed exhaustion, the second night it was closer, and by the fourth night, it stopped, watching. Welcome to Lost Delivery. Presence in residence. On a quiet evening in the living room, Jack Smurl sat beside his wife Janet, as faint knocking echoed from somewhere inside the walls, too deliberate to dismiss as plumbing or settling wood. Later that night, in their upstairs bedroom, they both saw for the first time a tall, pale figure standing in the doorway, completely still and unmistakably present, watching them without expression. Near midnight in the hallway, Jack stepped out to confront it, refusing to let it stand between him and his family, despite the unease tightening in his chest. As he reached the staircase and descended into the dark kitchen below, an unseen force shoved him violently forward, leaving visible red marks across his back, that burned long after the impact. The following evening, in the kitchen under dim yellow light, Father Michael O'Connor, a cautious Catholic priest called for help, blessed the house methodically, while Janet clutched her rosary tightly, whispering prayers under her breath. That same night, in the upstairs hallway, the figure appeared closer than before, its head slightly tilted, as if responding to the blessing, rather than retreating from it. Late at night in the bedroom, Jack awoke, to the sound of slow, deliberate footsteps near the dresser, and saw the entity standing only feet away from the bed, and its eyes fixed on him. When he tried to rise, an immense pressure forced him back down, into the mattress, stronger and longer than before, releasing only after Janet switched on the lamp, with shaking hands. Past midnight in the living room, Robert Gallagher, a confident paranormal investigator documenting the case, placed a cassette recorder on the coffee table, determined to capture proof of what the family described. As the tape rolled in the heavy silence, the entity appeared behind him near the staircase, and a loud bang struck the wall beside his head, rattling the frame and silencing him mid-sentence. Around 2 a.m. in the hallway, Janet stepped out after hearing deliberate footfalls pacing outside the bedroom, and found the figure standing midway down the corridor, blocking the only path forward. When she retreated back into the bedroom, it moved forward without haste and slammed the door shut behind her, without ever raising a hand. The following evening in the stairwell, Father Michael repeated his prayers with firmer resolve, his voice echoing upward, as he refused to show fear. As the final words left his mouth, the entity descended several steps from the upper landing, stopping only when his voice faltered and the stairwell fell silent. Near midnight in the bedroom, rhythmic tapping began beneath the bed, steady and intentional, drawing Jack's attention downward in confusion. When he lifted his gaze again, the figure was now standing beside Janet's side of the bed, closer than it had ever dared to position itself before. Late at night in the hallway outside their bedroom, Jack physically blocked the figure's path in open defiance, determined not to retreat again. Calmly and without visible strain, it placed one cold hand against his chest and pushed him backward across the floor, demonstrating strength that felt effortless and controlled. Before dawn in the living room, the family gathered in silence as furniture shifted subtly, above them on its own, the sounds measured and unhurried. At sunrise, when they finally stepped outside into the cold morning air, the pale figure stood at the top of the staircase, not following, not retreating, simply occupying the home as if it had completed its claim. The family believed the entity was growing stronger with each encounter, but in truth it had been fully present from the beginning. It only revealed more of itself each time they resisted, not to drive them out, but to make it clear that their presence in that house had always been temporary. Tell me, if you saw something standing in your doorway night after night, would you stay and fight for your home, or would you leave it behind? Comment your answer and follow to reveal hidden truths that they tried to bury.